This is Rochdale, a club that's never played in England's top tier. Until now. We're taking them from the bottom of the football pyramid, the Vanarama National League, all the way to Premier League glory. No rich owners, no superstar signings, just grit, grind, and smart tactics. This is one of the hardest rebuilds I have ever done. Tiny budget, minimal resources, and a whole lot of heart. Did you know Rochdale once spent 36 years in the same division? Time to rewrite history. How many years will it take me today to achieve a Premier League title? Let's find out. Welcome to the Rochdale rebuild. Let's get into it. So then, welcome to a Rochdale rebuild and welcome to the Crown Oil Arena. Now, why Rochdale? I don't know. Selected at random, I wanted a team in the Vanarama National League because we have got a new tactic coming out next week, which is meant to be a bit of a lower league masterclass. So I thought, you know what? I need a challenge and you don't really get much more than this. So I thought, let's go over, see what we can do. And don't get me wrong, I don't know how many years this is going to take. This could be a rebuild that takes multiple years. It could be a rebuild that takes me a matter of, well, it's not going to take me 5 years, let's be realistic. But I mean, we're going to aim to try and get this done within 10 seasons, but that might be very ambitious. Now, the club has got a 2-star reputation, 2-star training, 2-star youth facilities, and 5-star silver when it comes to the youth recruitment. The owners are enjoying life at the club, and as for the finances there, well, that's probably a good word to use. The finances are okay. Whenever you start a save of a team like this, you never expect top finance, you know. You never expect to have £150 million, even in the Premier League season. The only way we're going to achieve that is with having rich owners, so we will use installments when we need to do so. In terms of the actual history, there is none. They have never actually won a trophy inside of this game that has been registered anyway, and they are in a real big blip in form at the moment. So I thought, do you know what? This is literally the perfect time to get involved. Now, we are going to be using this new tactic that I am going to be releasing next week. And again, at any part of this video, you want to get the game save file, the rebuild file, and the tactic, and all of these perks, you can go and check out the Patreon right now, where you can enjoy 20% off and also access to a £1,000 PayPal giveaway. So make sure you go and get stuck in. That's not an FM instruction, sort of pun right there, but we can say it is. But this team on paper, I'm going to be honest with you, I know absolutely nobody in the squad, so I'm actually quite excited by that. Just based off one simple thing, you know, using your eyes, you can see that Penny, our actual left back, is a clear favourite. Is actually a Sky Bet League 2 player, and he is contracted to us, so we can actually enjoy him. Now, when you even look at him, you compare him to some of the players we sign at the other clubs that I rebuild more recently, he's not even that good, but for this league, this is like a prime Andy Robertson. He is a prime left back, so I think he is going to play a big part in this rebuild. This tactic is a bit of a weird one because it actually sort of focuses on soaking up the pressure and then going on the sort of counter-attacking style. And I do honestly believe that this tactic can work me up the football pyramid, you know. We're not that far off the Sky Bet leagues, let's be realistic. Can we achieve that in the first season? That is going to be the gamble that I'm going to take because we are predicted to actually finish. We go into the competitions, go into this, the Vanarama National League. We are predicted to finish in 15th place, which is really low down in the rankings. And there's some good teams in here. Forest Green, Hartlepool, Barnet, there's some decent teams in the Vanarama National League, but I'm hoping we can try and pull off a miracle because a lot of the times in these rebuilds, especially the lower league ones, you spend more time in the lower leagues failing to gain promotion. Once I get into the Premier League, I feel like I know what to do. I know how to abuse certain parts of the game where maybe you can sort of be really good at the back and just scrape a goal or two. Basically, if we get to the Prem, I think I can stay in the Prem, but it's getting to the Premier League. So we're going to go on, see what we can do. It's going to be a pretty exciting rebuild, this one, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's just go and see if Rodney has got enough firepower up front, because based off his stats, again, it doesn't look great, but we are in the Vanarama National League, so it's actually somewhat acceptable. Money-wise, again, by the way, debts and loans, we have got none really, but that figure right there is actually quite a lot of money for a club where their original budget was 214 grand. So, I mean, we're not a team now with millions. We're a team now of hundreds of thousands. We have got to be very sensible with who we sign, when we sign, and, yeah, then signings have got to pay for themselves. I.e., they've either got to gain value as a player, or they've got to gain value by winning me league titles, and I get money that way. They need to pay to come in. That's what they need to do. Let's get into the first season, see what we can do in the Vanarama National League. Now, I'm expecting nothing in the FA Cup, and I'm not saying that as a little cop-out, as a little, you know, sort of like, oh, we're not expecting anything. No. I'm not expecting anything in the FA Cup. The FA Trophy, maybe we can try and get somewhere, but my focus is on getting my team from the Vanarama National League promoted in maximum 2 seasons. In a dream world, 1 season. And we have gained promotion. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this was one of the longest seasons it actually took to complete, because I was going in and out every few games to mould the tactic and also make some signings, because the team was not going to get the job done. And we sort of strengthened as the season went on, and we do get the job done by 7 points as well, over York and of course AFC Flied right there. We have got the job done quite comfortably, but I tell you what, it took some work, and one of the men that I want to talk about is going to be Big Manny. Well, in Season 1, we have gone and got the job done. Now, we didn't do too well in both of these cups, but again, there is no expectation. We have got the job done in the Vanarama National League, and that is a serious season. Now, I do want to say one thing. We were going in and out of holiday so much it was mental to change the tactic to sort of perfect to our team, to make some signings, because at one point, we got so many injuries, we actually didn't have enough players to even go into a game with, so we had to go and make some signings, some free signings, some loan signings, very low budget signings. We had very little money, so the names you're about to see aren't going to be record breaking, I will be honest, but they are players that have clearly got the job done. And I tell you what, one player I'm going to shout out is Big Matt Penny, our left back, who has had so much pride to play in this team. Such an absolute machine. 17 assists in the league is absolutely remarkable. Our goalkeeper as well had an absolutely great time. You can't hate that at all. And I tell you what, despite not doing that well in the cups, I'm going to take this any single day, but we were active in the transfer window. Now, for the first few seasons, we're not signing the big names, so we're going to go over them sort of if we need to go over them, because there's a lot of players going out, a lot of players coming in, and that will happen until really you get to the championship, because you'd always lose your best players, then you replace them, players in, players out, and none of them are really big names. But I can tell you one man that is, and that is going to be our striker, because this guy come in, and I tell you what, he was a bagsman. You can see right now, 23 goals, 6 assists, and drops a 7.12 average rating. The guy is a machine. He's a Sky Bet League 2 player who was playing in the Vanarama. He is pretty quick, decent composure, good finishing, and honestly, he made all the difference. Our whole attack was very good. For example, the loanee on the left, Ethan Sutherland, come in, and he as well was a player who picked up 7 goals, 9 assists, a 7.11 average rating, and again, you look at the composure, you look at the finishing, you might be put off by that, and I do appreciate why, but you are getting a player with great physical attributes. You're getting a player who decent dribbling for this league, decent crossing, and a player that really did chip in to a high level. On the right-hand side, some would argue even better, is going to be Sam Austin. And this is a player who, I'm not being funny, 40k by the way, 15 goals, 8 assists. A remarkable return for his first season at Rochdale. And again, this player may be more balanced compared to the left sort of hand-sided winger. But honestly, they both offer their own thing. And this front line are so vital, because this tactic doesn't really have much coming out this season from either side of the wingbacks, to be honest. I mean, from Penny, yes, because the guy is playing in a league which is ridiculously easy for him. Our left back had 27 goal contributions. Our midfield, East 10 and 16, Western 13 and 2. We've got a bit of an issue with loanees at the back, because I mean, our goalkeeper, who was so good in the league, actually is loaned in from Wrexham, and that's quite worrying. One of our centre backs in Jack Kingdon, coming in from Manchester United on loan. He is also obviously on loan, and it's great having these loan players to get the job done, but we probably won't be able to afford them, and they might not even want to stay. So it's not always a positive to have a stacked lone team, but it has got the trick done. I have gained promotion. I mean, even on the bench, you're looking at players here: 5 and 4, 2 and 10, 7 and 1, 2 and 5 for Gordon, 1 and 4 for Gilmore, Atkins, 4 and 1, 4 and 7. This was a real team effort, and don't get me wrong, it's not just the attack that have got the job done, the backline has as well. In terms of stats, we were actually the best at scoring and the 4th best when it comes to conceding goals. So our attack technically was the key sort of attribute of the team, but this is a team game and we got the job done, and we have resulted in getting a budget of, that might be $1 million, you know, 1.1 million, which I believe is actually quite generous for promotion. So we're going to see what we can do in the transfer window. Again, you're going to see a lot of loanees, a lot of free agents, a lot of cheap players coming in, maybe not your go-to players all the time, and that's why I don't go through every single signing, because some of these players only played a game or two and they were more sort of brought into, well, literally be legs to use, and they're not always the most exciting people to talk through. So let me know if you ever want to see a change in that, by the way, and you want to see every transfer. But there's just some who maybe played like 2 games, didn't really do anything, but were needed to actually go into the games, if that makes sense. So let's cue season 2, and dare we dream for back-to-back promotions. Well, let me tell you something, we're going to have a good video here, because in our first season in Sky Bet League 2, we are going to be playing in the playoff semi-final, and we could be about to get back-to-back promotions. And trust me, if we do that, I'm going to be going mental. Sadly, the big day at Wembley was a little bit too much. A little bit too much. I mean, it was a good, well-crafted goal, I'm not going to lie, but sadly, we're going to lose, and we had no return at all. That's right, we lose the playoff final against Swindon in 1-0 fashion. We go out in the second round against Exeter in the FA Cup, 3-1. We also go out in the first round of the Carabao Cup against Luton Town. That actually was decided on penalties, so not too bad. And the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, we lose to Wigan Athletic. So you know what I mean. I've still got to be quite humble, because we are still in a situation where we're literally now 2 years in. We're a team that potentially aren't ready for Sky Bet League 2 yet in terms of automatically winning it. Clearly we aren't. It's actually going to be Salford to get the job done. And I look at the teams around us, okay? You've got Salford, Notts County, Grimsby, Swindon. These are teams, you know, that I still class as better teams than myself at the moment. So this is going to be a long project, I feel, and that's completely fine, because at the end of the day, for a first season in the Sky Bet League 2, we didn't humiliate ourselves, you know. We got to the playoffs, we got to a playoff final, and we only lost by 1 goal. So genuinely, I think that is more than acceptable. It's a very reasonable performance, and genuinely, we can move on right there. I keep saying genuinely, I do apologise. We can move on and get things done. So that's a good entry-level season. Now, again, we are going to have some new faces in the team, and that is going to be me sort of making a couple of random signings to try and keep us in the league. And obviously, we've done a bit more than stay in the league. We're actually quite competitive. Now, we actually lost a fair few of our loan players. Let me tell you that for free. The first goalkeeper is now going to be Ross Stewart. Coming in from the Queen of South. He come in for 46k. He kept 14 clean sheets. Now, this was a panic signing, okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you boys and girls. Got way too much respect for you for that one. This is a man I wouldn't say I would rush out and sign. But do you know what? For a season in the Sky Bet League 2, he actually done me quite well. I'm going to be fair to him, so fair play to Ross, he got the job done. Our backline is now sort of, you know, it's okay, it's not great. I'll tell you who is great, that is Sean Hutchinson, because he's a man who, I tell you what, he's some player. A good average rating, dropping a 6.71, and he is actually a really good centre-back. He's not the quickest, but he's mentally really, really strong. And he's played at teams like Fulham, Millwall, Motherwell, some pretty big teams when you factor in he's now playing for Rochdale. The downside, he's 34. But this is what it's like. When you're Rochdale, you haven't got loads of money, you're going after the older players, as we also pick up James Tompkins at 36. So we have really gone down the experience path. And don't get me wrong, they're doing fine. Good average rating, good sort of vibes about them, experience. They know how to stay in a league. They know how to compete in a league. But these players aren't the future. But we are not in a luxury situation right now where we can spend £60 million on signing João Neves. You know, we are trying to survive and build a club off that foundation. Our wing-backs, again, we somehow keep Penny, 4 and 19. How we have kept this man, I don't know. He is developing like an absolute demon. He is now a good Sky Bet League 1 player. He always seems to be one league above of the current standard he's playing in. So the guy is thriving. He really, really is. Our right back in Rowling, I mean, it's okay. It's an okay return. We're talking 2 and 7. It's actually quite good, to be fair. He is a player who looks quite well-rounded. He's got the pace, he's got the tackling, also the crossing. A good Vanarama national player, I think, is quite harsh when you actually look at his ability, because he's actually quite a good wing-back. The midfielders are okay. I will say East has come on pretty well, to be honest. He's quite a well-rounded man, 26 years of age. Again, played for some quite big clubs over in England, and I think, considering we are Rochdale at the moment, we have to sort of understand that the player that I might call okay is actually really, really good. And in terms of our front line, the same thing happened. So Austin on the right hand side, signed, 19 and 9, why can't I talk? Sam Austin comes in, and again, as you can see, this is now a couple of seasons where he has actually proved he can do it in both leagues, the Sky Bet League 2 and the Vanarama, and that tells me he is a player that is worth keeping if we can, because he can clearly play in this league, as we do sadly remain in the Sky Bet League 2. On the left-hand side, we are going to welcome in Tarin. He is going to come in. Again, he's a player who did actually join last season, but didn't really do too much, but he somehow has adapted and improved and actually thrived more in a tougher league. So that's also a big thumbs up from me. Our striker, 26 and 4. The bench is okay, but a lot of players did leave on the free towards the end. You essentially decide, when you're playing as a team like Rochdale, do you spend your transfer budget on keeping them at the club, the players with short contracts that want new ones, or do you say, goodbye, I'll replace you? Now, a lot of the players that want new contracts and want more money maybe, I'm happy to wave goodbye to, because we can replace them and we can slowly build up a whole new team. And to do that, we have got a budget of around about 300k. And we actually need to reduce the current player wage bill by 5.5k per week in order to pass the Sky Bet League 2 financial fair play. So we are going to have a tough time, and that is after me letting players go. We have already got such a small squad, but I will be letting some players go, and I imagine we go into our squad right now, our highest paid sort of player is on 5 grand, and that is going to be the left back, who I am not letting go. So we're going to have to let a couple of people go here to try and actually meet that requirement. And the one man I will not let go is this guy, because he's our best player in the team, and he's not going anywhere unless we get a mad offer from a Premier League team, which I can't hold back on. He is going to stay here for a long time. But as seasons go, our first season in Sky Bet League 2, I can't be angry with a playoff final. Let's cue the next season. And we are off to Wembley for the Bristol Street Motors Trophy against Wrexham. A very tough game, but a great advantage for us, as it is going to be a 37-year-old Tompkins making it 1-0. They then get a penalty and are going to equalise just before the first half does end. But we do bounce back in the 62nd minute. A great bit of play here. And I tell you what, after this goal went in, I was actually quite ambitious. I mean, it is one of the best balls over the top I have seen in quite a long time. A great bit of play right there. And I tell you what, we're looking quite positive right now. We are going to have McAllister playing it down the middle. East picks up the ball back into McAllister, down the right-hand side, goes alone, and we are going to lead at Wembley 3-1. Not a lot of fans turned up, though. I don't like that. That's not a nice sight. And I tell you what is, though. Do you want to know a nice sight? We are going to be your Bristol Street Motors Trophy winners in Season 3 over Wrexham. And what would make it sweeter? A Sky Bet League 2 win. Now, I was quietly confident, and you're going to see why I'm a bit more confident very shortly, because we need to bring in some pretty good players on loan. Now, we have actually walked this league, 106 points. MK Dons and Shrewsbury are going to join us in getting promotion, so congratulations to them, as Aldershot and Harrogate are going to go down. Now, this is a big statement for us, because this is now our second season, our real first season being established in the Sky Bet League 2, and we have completely walked it, and we have won a Bristol Street Motors Trophy. The other 2 cups, I mean, you can't expect much against Brentford, and to be fair, Northampton Town, maybe we could do something, but I'm not really too much of a caring person when we are winning the Bristol Street Motors Trophy and the Sky Bet League 2. We have ticked off 2 things there that could have taken us a lot longer. Now, in terms of money, we actually did recover ourselves quite well, and we've got another £1 million in the pot, which is quite minuscule for Sky Bet League 1, let's put it that way. But we have had some exciting players come in, but we have got also a very, very, very small squad. Now, you can see some of the names that I'm going to talk to you about right now, okay? We were losing a lot of players. We had to lose players to actually match even with the financial fair play. And we're seeing a lot of players going out, a lot of players come in on loan, and it might be quite difficult. But the one man that has stayed loyal to me is going to be Penny. 9 goals and 35 assists. I'm going to claim him as the best low league left back in this game. He is an absolute monster. An absolute monster. We also are going to loan on a popular face in Toby Collier. Again, he come in, he played okay. 10 games, dropped to 6.92, only on loan, but again, to boost numbers. This right back on loan actually looks quite good. I mean, he's got the pace, he's got okay crossing, the tackling's okay. But again, I cannot stress to you boys and girls back home how hard it is to keep players at Rochdale, especially after you get promoted, because they're going to get a lot of interest from teams in Sky Bet League 1, the Championship, and they are going to want to go. And that's exactly what has happened. I mean, you can look down this list right now. East, 14 and 14. McAllister, 15 and 7. We've got this man, by the way, on the left, who is an absolute monster. 37 goal contributions. He is rapid, decent composure to be fair, but again, on loan from Arsenal. Is he actually going to be obtainable? Probably not. This loanee striker, 36 and 7. Big Divin, coming in from Sheffield Wednesday. He returned me 29 goals in the league. Again, are we going to sign him permanently? That I don't know. There's a lot of ifs and maybes in this team, and that always is not a great thing. You go down to the bench, 10 and 3 for Tompkins. Austin, 5 and 11. We've got this man here, 14 and 2. 2 and 2. 2, 3, 1, 5 and 9. 4 and 2, 1 and 4. We have put together a squad this season, but when you factor in that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players out of the best 11, just to make sure, out of the best 11 are loanee players, that's not a comfortable position, but it's the position that we're going to find ourselves in until we settle ourselves in the Championship. So we're going to have to keep adapting to it, but luckily we're adapting and winning, which is quite rare to be honest, so very happy with it so far. And how can I be angry with a season where we have won 2 big trophies? And I'm going to come back to you now in Sky Bet League 1. I mean, what a start to the video. Be sure to leave a like. But we're off to Wembley for another playoff final, this time against Wigan, so a big ask here. But we get off to a great start, a great ball in, and a great leap, and a great header, and a great goal inside of 12 minutes. And could we be about to be getting back-to-back promotions? I mean, it would be some statement. We're going to be acting like Kieran McKenna, what's going on? An own goal and an equaliser, and that is not what you want to be seeing. That is awful, and I tell you what, Wigan are thriving. What a bit of play there. That is a great touch, and it is going to be a great finish. I mean, it's a Wigan comeback and things are looking pretty rough, and let me tell you now, we have lost 2 playoff finals in a matter of 4 years. This is heartbreak because we go and concede another own goal. Another final lost. That is genuinely crazy, by the way, people. We have lost a playoff final as we concede 2 own goals. Have you ever even seen that before? And the rest of the cups didn't go as great. We don't manage to win the Bristol Street Motors Trophy again. The Carabao Cup, obviously we don't win. The FA Cup, we don't win. I'm not too worried about this now because obviously we can go here and see that we won it last year. But I tell you what, although it's really good to get to even the playoffs when the board expectation is to avoid relegation, we've massively overachieved. But to get to 2 playoff finals by 2027 and lose both, come on, you've got to be a little bit heartbroken. But I mean, it's a strong season. We finished in 3rd place. You know, we were only 2 points off Catch and Charlton and get an automatic promotion, but Wigan were the better team at Wembley. Bolton were the better team overall in the entire league, and we've got a build, and it's as simple as that. I mean, we have been given a budget of a grand 193k to play with, so that's massive. But yeah, it's a building season, and the team The team's looking minuscule. This shows how many people out of our first team actually have left, by the way. A lot of people. We have kept, obviously, the striker, the winger, the left back has still stayed and dropped 16 and 21. The right back did stay permanently, by the way. Didn't have the best season. Weston stayed. Hutchinson stayed, but we've got an aging team. We've got people that are on loan. We've got people that are wanted. We've got a lot of in and out players, man, and this is the tough side of low league management, and that's how it goes. The one player that I'm happy with is Anang, because he actually was a man that come in last season, didn't really get much action, but this year has been a really, really solid choice. And you know what? I think we can get promoted with him in goal, so hopefully we can keep hold of him. But apart from that, I mean, McAllister come in, 15 and 18. Penny, obviously, we talked about, 20 and 8 for the striker up front. Fletcher on loan, by the way, 17 and 6. Has anyone heard of this guy before? 15 finishing, 14 composure, great acceleration, great pace. The guy looks a bit like a hidden gem to me. 10 and 5 for Stephenson, 7 and 3 for Weston. 5 and 6 coming in for this man on the left. I mean, it's not a great return comparing to other seasons, and I just think a bit more firepower. A bit more firepower, we could have got the job done. And don't get me wrong, the tactic isn't known for scoring loads of goals. That's not what we're about today. But if we can just get the right attacking players, this tactic can extract goals. But when you got your wingers not having your best season, it's not ideal. And I tell you what, in terms of stats, Defensively, we're pretty shambolic. Considering we finish in 3rd place, we're the 10th best at conceding. Our goal scoring carried the way, so we've got to be a little bit respectful that we've got okay attacking players. Now let's get into the next season, try and build on the foundation, but we've got limited money. We've got a lot of players that probably are going to want to leave. Can I dare for another playoff chance? That I don't know. Well, this is actually quite impressed me, because although it's a quarter-final of the Carabao Cup seems quite good. We do lose against Fulham on penalties, but I thought I'd include it because that actually feels like quite a rewarding stage. The FA Cup, again, I'm not going to be annoyed because we actually nearly put Man City to quite a tough place. We only lose by a goal and we score 3. We do go back to winning the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. That is now going to be 2 times in 3 years. I guess I will take it, but what I'll take ahead of that is going to be a promotion from the Sky Bet League 1, and we have got a bagsman up front in Karamoko, an absolute monster, scoring 43 goals in the league, and we have got 3 players in the assists, and we have got the most clean sheets. We are absolutely cooking. We only lose 5 games. Yes, we draw 12, but it really doesn't matter. We are going to be your Sky Bet League 1 winners. So you balance that out. That is another 2 trophies added to the cabinet, a decent performance in the Carabao Cup, and I'm going to say the same in the FA Cup because we took the game to City and we didn't get battered at all. A very, very, very close game, which we can be proud of. Now, in terms of the money, we have got a budget now of a serious amount, 1.1 million. You love to see it, but the team. Filtered by the best 11, we have got to make sure we shout out this guy Karamoko. 60 and 7. Now, don't get me wrong, the guy is actually a championship player. He's a little bit too good for this level, but if we can keep him, although Cardiff want him, I'm sure he can do this again in the championship with ease. Now, this is where the big change happened, because we didn't have just one winger that was good, we had 2. McAllister 6 and 24, he has been incredibly consistent. But this man here, 22 and 17, Josip, the man that I said was average last season, and he was, has turned up big time and really helped me gain this promotion into the championship. The downside to this story? Our entire midfield, I believe, yep, our midfield is loaned, and also our wing-backs. That is going to be the downside, and Penny actually does get pushed out of the team by the loanee left-back, which I don't fully agree with, as Penny actually had 5 and 24 to his name. So a great time there. Our right-back Hughes, 1 and 19. So again, these are the sort of players that if I can get them, I will sign them. And how much do they want for him? They want a total, that's doable. If it's this price, if it's 500,000, that's most of my budget gone. But the guy looks incredible when it comes to the physical side. A great right back that clearly has got so much pace, nobody can keep up with him. That's how he's getting his goals. I mean, we can also look at the centre-backs, okay? We look at this man on the right centre-back option. The guy's an absolute monster. So good for Sky Bet League One, it's ridiculous. And he's actually going to be with us now for the permanent. So I'm actually quite ambitious going into this next season because I think we can get the job done. I really do. Well, let me just take that back. I think we can get the job done in terms of be competitive. I don't think we're going to go in there and win the championship back-to-back. But let's face it, we have got a really good record of getting into leagues, having one season in the playoffs, and then the next season winning the league outright. Dare I say, we're going to do it again. Can we do it? Let's see. Right this, because we're playing another playoff final at Wembley, this time against West Brom, and we're going to get started off in a horrific way. A 1-0 lead inside of 37 minutes, and by the way, we missed a penalty before this goal went in. We do score this low with Harry Winks in the team. Yeah, we had some transfer window, but sadly, we've had 3 playoff finals, all at Wembley, and we have lost every single one. A goal here from West Brom, no chance, we are cursed. And I need to know right now in the comments if any of you played 3 playoff finals and lost every single one. This is some magical pattern that we've got to go by. It's like we have to lose a playoff final to then gain promotion. That's like we have to do it. The cups also weren't too pretty, I'll be honest, but we have had a big window, and although we didn't get promoted, I am ecstatic to say we finished in the playoff spots. It's a great season. The expectation from the board was to go right back down, so I mean, it's a great time. Karamoko, by the way, joint top goal scorer. Matt Penny, we've kept him again, the top assister. This is now a left back who is now 31, so the guy is getting old, but he's still doing it, so fair play to him. And at the end of the day, I'm going off history. Next season, if I was a betting man, I'd say we get promoted, because that is what's been going on. So let's just go and see the team that we've built, because we've introduced a couple of famous faces in the likes of Harry Winks, 33 years of age, don't get me wrong. He's coming in on a loan deal, but as a little spoiler, he's actually joining permanently, so that's going to be something for another season. We've still got money to spend, by the way, let me tell you right now. We've actually got a total of, wow, 7.5 million. It's quite a fair bit of money to go and spend. We also have got the likes of Thomas Partey, purely for the experience. We've got a man that has played at Arsenal, Atletico, now at Rochdale. He is incredibly slow, but he's got the mentality. So at the end of the day, he can just help us get to the championship. Although, I've just seen he won't be because he is retiring. So his chance to help us was this season, and he missed out by that much. So that's not ideal. We also have a ton of players on loan. We have got the likes of Dago, 10 and 5. He was a man that spent a bit of time on the left-hand side. I loaned him in from West Ham, and he actually returned a ridiculous contribution, but players like that I imagine aren't going to come cheap. He doesn't even want to join, and his value is at 49 to 74 million. So that is, don't fall in with a lone player. Don't fall in love with a lone player. And we have fallen in love, and we have been heartbroken. We also loan in Lovelace, a bit of an interesting name, as backup to this absolute machine up front, scoring 26 and 6. Yes, it is a big drop off from last season, but let's face it, he is never going to replicate what he done last year. That was a standout season. We've also got Bacon on the right-hand side, who, for now, is actually going to be a star winger. And I think, to be honest, even when the better new gens come in, this guy will always get a little bit of time because he can play in 3 positions. He's got great finishing, by the way, great composure, well, not great pace, but for this standard at the moment, great pace, great stamina, and he come in 9 and 9, 700k, so a bit of a bargain in my opinion, and I think this team on paper is genuinely good enough to go again. We've got Harry Winks in on the permanent. He's a player that, don't get me wrong, isn't necessarily a big name anymore, but for the championship, I think the guy can get the job done. I think one more season in the championship, we can sort of try and make this happen. If we can keep, well, we've got to keep Bacon. We're going to keep, obviously, Karamoko, hopefully. We've got our left back, Penny. if we can just try and keep hold of a couple of these loan players, obviously the likes of Dago we can't possibly sign, I think we've got a chance at the championship title. So let's get right into it and try and turn a playoff final loss into a win. And if we do, that's 3 times back to back. And we have done it. Now, we didn't win the league because, I mean, Everton are in here. So, I mean, that says quite a fair bit about the standard of teams. We outplaced Middlesbrough, Coventry, Leeds and Watford, Bristol, Burnley, Norwich. Wolves, is that me? Or is that one of the most stacked championships you have ever seen? That is a ridiculous table, so I will take second any day. Incredibly close, by the way. We actually get promoted by goal difference over Middlesbrough. And we have hit the window again. But what's nice to see off the bat is Bacon, the top assister. We have got another player here with 15. We've got Smith there with 14. But we picked up this man. That is going to be Nicolo Tresoldi. Now, this guy, I'm going to say it right off the bat, is way above our level. Way above our level. And if we didn't get promoted, he would have gone, I imagine. But he actually comes in on the free and scores 54 goals. He was rested for every cup game. So I'll be honest with you, he could have even scored more. But we sort of were making him play the league games, resting him in the cup games. The guy's an absolute joke. He is by far the best championship striker. The other cups, again, weren't horrific. 2 quarterfinals, but of course my aim is to get to the Premier League because we can't even try and complete the video until we're in the Premier League. So we can now actually try and complete this challenge, and we're currently 43 minutes into recording. So it's taken us a long time, but this is why I hope you guys like the journeys because they are very challenging. And you know what? The way we've got these promotions with heartbreak, playoff final losses, not 1, not 2, 3 times, but then we get promoted. We almost tease the fans and then go and get the job done. And money-wise, our first big budget, the Premier League budget, 47 million. Debts and loans only a little bit, so we can afford to spend a dabble of money. And the team now looks like this. And I tell you what, this man up front, 68 and 5. 16 and 14 from Karamoko, our former top goal scorer. Bacon, 10 and 25. We've got a cracking player in DLP here, 2 and 15. And I might consider actually picking him up. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely might consider picking this guy up because he looks absolutely remarkable. So we're going to see what we can do. Obviously, that is going to be the left back. And he is a player who... What was he actually valued at? He was valued at a total of 6.2 million. We can afford to do that, to be honest. This man as well, the Irishman, 33 years of age in Connor. He is a player that I would also sign, but he's 33. We've gone down a path of signing experience the entire rebuild. Now we're into the actual Premier League. I can start to try and build my club, build the foundation, build a younger player base. I'm always a believer in you need experience and young players, but at the moment we've sort of taken what we can get. Now we can actually be a little bit sort of picky if we can stay in the Premier League for at least a season. Our wing-backs again, we are going to actually see Penny get dropped to the bench, now 0 and 4. So this is probably his time. He's probably, I mean, by the way, when I say that, the guy has been, I'll use the words club legend. He's got me from Vanarama to the Premier League pretty much single-handedly in that left side. He has done such a good job, and we have to be thankful for that. We've got the likes of Randall, 6 and 7, 4 and 3 for Crawford. And do you know what? Is this team going to keep me in the Premier League? Oh, that's a question, isn't it? I don't think so, to be honest with you. Right on paper, the front line I think can. Tresoldi, I think he can go and bag 20 goals in the Prem, maybe? 15 to 20. I think Karamoko can do okay. I think Bacon can do okay. But as you go down the team, it sort of gets worse, which is something that I never want to admit, but it's actually the reality. That is the harsh reality. So I am going to go in with low expectation, and I'm going to say it for the first time of the history of this channel, unless we can go and spend this money wisely, because £47 million is great. I understand that, but we're a newly promoted team. We're not going to attract top talent, and our wage budget is still quite restricted. I think there's a world where we go back down, and I'm sorry to say it. Well, I tell you what, it's a lot better than what I thought, okay, because we actually do finish in 13th place. Now, I'm going to be honest, it is one of the tighter league tables I have ever seen. There is actually only, 5 points? Or 8 points from the drop. Our goal difference minus 24. We lose 20 games. Some of those absolutely batterings. We draw 8 games as well. We do beat some pretty okay sized... Do we? Not really. This is actually a good example of what you should be doing. When you get promoted, this is good evidence actually. If you can beat the teams in and around you, you will be completely fine. This right here is actually a perfect example of how you should handle a Premier League season. We don't beat any of the big teams, but we beat the teams in and around us, and we get points, the random point here against a Chelsea, a Brentford, a Tottenham, an Arsenal, a West Ham. Them extra points are the difference, and that actually is quite a picturesque season. That is the perfect start to a Premier League, because it's realistic, it's not demanding too much. We've only won 10 games, but all them 10 games were teams around us, and that has saved us in the Premier League. The other cups weren't nothing too much to talk about. A third round exit in the Carabao Cup against Burnley, that is decided in 1-0 defeat, and the 5th round against Man City, that is decided in a 3-0 defeat. So the cups aren't going to be too strong. The team that I've built looks a little bit like this. So we are going to keep the front three, and they actually done okay. Our striker done a little bit better than what I thought. 30-3 across all competitions. Karamoko done okay, bless him. 9-6, Bacon 5-10. We did pick up a serious baller on the free. That is going to be this lad in DM, Big Basir, I believe how you say that. He's going to come in from Montpellier. He is a very strong DM / centre-back. Now, for us, he played a bit of both, I'll be honest with you. And it's quite handy because we needed that in the team. He's a man that's valued at 66 million. I paid a grand total of nothing. We got him on the free, and he was a serious addition to this team. He really, really was. The other addition, Diakate. He is going to come in as a 5-star ability centre-back, valued at 74 million, stayed fit for the Prem, and again, 6.83, comes in for nothing. Yes, he's on a lot of money per week, but to keep me in the Premier League, I will pay it time in, time out. And everybody done okay. Did anybody set the league alight? You could argue maybe Tresoldi done quite a good job. 30-3. I mean, where was he actually in terms of the goal scorers? He was in second, so he has set the league alight. I'm going to use them words. And he is now wanted by the Saudi League, which is such a tough decision because he is a man valued at £60 million. That means Saudi will offer about 90, and 90 million can transform this team. Would I take 90 million? I think I'd have to. For the benefit of the team, I'd lose a great man, a great finisher, a great striker, but we can invest that money in other areas, and for the situation we're in right now, that would pretty much be priceless. You know what I mean? So we are going to have to be quite sensible with how we actually think about this. We have got a budget, to be fair, of 40 million. So if you were to add nearly 100 million on, you're talking 130, 140 million. Do we get all the money or not? We do. So in the temptations there is what I'm going to say, but it would also require that we loan in or sign a permanent better replacement. And I don't even know where we begin, because we have got no European football. It's not a strong enough season to say that we're not going to go back down. You know what I mean? If we finished in like 10th or 9th or something like that, we're established. But we are down there with the relegation teams. This is going to be a tough window, guys. The FA Cup, again, didn't go ideally. Now, again, I'm still way too soon into this rebuild to even consider getting angry about this stuff. But losing 5-1 never looks good. And Tottenham do the double, a 3-1 defeat in this one. So, you know, over 2 legs, well, not 2 legs, but 2 different competitions, they really embarrassed us. But do you know what they didn't embarrass us in? That is the Premier League, because although they finish above us, we didn't embarrass ourselves. We are going to be in the top 6, meaning we've got European football with Rochdale in the 2nd season of the Premier League, 2032, and the new loanee, Chido Obi Martin. United fans, fans, leave a like. I know you want to. He comes in on loan, and look at him. He looks mental. He looks incredible. 16 finishing, 15 composure, rapid, great dribbling. He's 24. He comes in, bags 22 goals and 2 assists. The guy is an absolute machine, and he has helped us out tenfold. Another signing that we made is going to be this man on the right-hand side, our own little Turkish delight. He comes in for £7 million and returns 21 goal contributions. We invested heavy in the attack this year, and it paid off big time. It really, really, really did. And you know what? I'm hoping that has given us a budget. It has. That's European money coming in right there. £87 million to go and spend, and what a season. Yes, the cups, some may say, are disappointing. I don't think they matter at the moment. That is European football, and we now actually might be able to afford Cheeto. Please, fingers crossed. Would I pay 30 million out of my budget of 87? I think I would, you know, because if we can get Cheeto, we can have this. We can have Tresoldi still in the team on the left, who had a great season, by the way. 29 goal contributions. We can have the Turkish delight on the right-hand side, 8 and 15. We can have Cheeto in the team. Our first team, since the start now, has the least loan players it has ever had. Only one of the players, and that is Cheeto, are going to be in the team. We also have a new goalkeeper. That is going to be Filip Stankovic, coming in from, well, I'll be honest with you, a lot of good teams. He comes in for 2.7 million, keeps 7 clean sheets. Again, not the best, not the worst. He doesn't have a ridiculous front or back line ahead of him. He is going to concede goals, but that back line is improving day by day. I mean, Catano is a good example. 9 goals, 11 assists. He was also playing a couple of games in DM. He comes in for a grand total of 21 million, our most expensive signing, 11 assists, and drops a 7.17. So this is a man, to be honest, that is going to be hopefully part of the Premier League winning team. That is how much I value him. That's how much I rate this guy. I think he really can be a player. The same goes for this man. Let's not talk about him. Lewis Skelly. What a man to have in the team. A player that does need to develop a little bit more, but day by day, year by year, season by season, we were improving. Right back wise, we're going to have another new gen come in. 2.3 million. 8 goal contributions. He's, 22 years of age? We've got an entire Turkish right side. We have got now some key statements to us becoming a club, a team, a squad. However you want to word it, we're becoming something. You know, if we sign Obi Martin, we've got a striker here who is aged, 24 was he? 24 years of age. We've got Tresoldi, who is 27, a bit older, but still not that old. We've got a winger who's 23, our right back 22, young centre back, young left back, young midfielder. This is now turning into a bit of a team for the future. But this team for the future can't afford to have bad seasons because they've now also got European football. So let's get into the next year. And we did go over and sign Cheeto. Now, I did have to spend the total of 35 million, but the guy's actually improved. So, do you know what? I'm not going to have any doubt in my mind that this guy was the right choice. He really completes what I'm trying to do with this front line, you know. Have a nice young sort of front line that can be with me for the next God knows how many seasons, because I need younger players, because this might take me another 9 seasons from now. Winning the Premier League is not going to be easy, which is why I also signed another new gen, and I did do my first big instalment signing. That is going to be Babic, coming in from Madrid for 48 million. A solid centre-back, drops a 6.88, and again, he's a player who I can sit here and say, you're going to win me a Premier League, mate. You're going to be in that team, and I've got full confidence saying it. As I also do with Franco Gomez. He comes in from Racing Club for £10 million, drops a decent average rating, and again, is he the best midfielder in the world? No. Is he great physically? Yes. Mentally? Yes. He's a good option for now. He's semi-young, not young, but 25. He's still got a few years in the tank, and that completes a very exciting big spend window. And what is it they say, go big or go home, right? A Europa League final against Arsenal, and I tell you what, this would be a statement for the Rochdale fans, the board, everyone. A 1-0 lead already inside of 26 minutes. A great start for Rochdale FC, as we are going to go again now, 60 minutes on the clock. The Turkish Delight down the right-hand side, running down into the other Turkish Delight in the middle, Obi Martin, that £35 million man coming up clutch in the final, as he is going to do again. And I cannot believe these words are ever coming out of my mouth. Rochdale are going to be your Europa League winners against Arsenal. The FA Cup we still quite haven't got the gist of yet. Man City are simply too strong. But we are going to Wembley for a Carabao Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur, and the game gets decided in the 90th minute. And it's going to be us again, Europa League and Carabao Cup winners. That is right, we win the Carabao Cup alongside of the Europa League, and the Premier League is another top 6 finish, but because we win the Europa League, we've got Champions League football. So it's top 6 in the Prem, Europa League win, Carabao Cup win. The only weakness, if you call it a weakness, is the quarter-final exit in the FA Cup. What a season to be a Rochdale fan, and once again, Chido coming up. 24 goals being scored. This man on the wing, 15 assists. That is such a strong season. And I tell you what right now, we're the 5th best at scoring, the 6th best at conceding. We are on a good trajectory here to actually work our way up bit by bit, because we're not being good in one area, weak in another area. We are growing bit by bit, which is the best way to build a club, as anybody knows. And money-wise, we're going to have a big window of £72 million. And do you know what? We deserve that money. We deserve them budgets. We've just won it feels like a treble, but we won 2 trophies, and 2 big trophies. I mean, Rochdale now are flying. The trophy cabinet is through the roof. Look at the up arrow. This arrow was down here. It is up, 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 up. It physically can't go much more up. So this has been a memorable season, the year of 2033. And let's just go and see what the team done. The only downside is our squad is quite small. Hence why a lot of the under-21s are being brought in, and then they're sort of being moved on. So the youth sort of side of the rebuild isn't going the best, I'll be honest, but they're sort of being dragged into the first team to actually cover us, if anything. But I mean, that aside, it's a great season. The backline is now relatively strong. Obviously, Diakate is an older man, but the likes of Catano and Babic are quite young centre-backs. Kara at right back is doing a great job. Smith at left back doing a great job as well. I mean, let's not get things twisted right now. We look at the likes of our right back, 2-18. Catano 14-9 from centre back / DM. We've got Samuel Smith, our left back, 21 assists. Let's not forget this man, okay? 26 years of age, doing it in the Premier League. I absolutely love it. Our midfielders, not great, not bad, nice and balanced. Our front line, big thumbs up. 18-24, 29-17, 48-9, and then the bench is going to look small. Lewis Skelly 3-7, Karamoko 3-2, because a lot of players sort of go before we actually get to show you on this screen. But it's not as if we've not got money to go and build a squad up again. So we are doing very, very well. And to win the Europa League in the first chance of actually getting a shot to do it is absolutely remarkable. But the big question is now, are we about to see a drop-off in the Premier League because we're now playing in the Champions League? It could happen, but I tell you what, as long as this front line is firing, I honestly don't count this out of anything. I'm going to welcome in a bit more of an experienced man just to add to the team in Madueke, just to build the squad up a little bit, because he cost me nothing. He gave me, 23 goal contributions. He's a man that's played 200 games for Chelsea in this save. Yes, he might be on a decline a little bit, but the guy knows English football. He knows the Premier League. He cost me nothing. Makes sense, right? And again, to boost the squad, although let me not say that like he's bad, he come in on the free. He's a great player with 6 goal contributions. He's another great centre-back / right-back. The guy's got 20 determination and was free on the market. Do you think I'm not picking him up? The guy was incredible. He's not on that much money. He's on 51 grand a week. He's great physically. Yes, some areas of the game are weak. You can look at his passing. Apart from that, though, he's actually quite the dream player. Yes, if you play him as a wing-back, maybe you'd want better dribbling, little things like that, but you can't be too picky when you're spending nothing. £55 million, I've made a decision, and the big decision, to sign a goalkeeper for life. A goalkeeper that I hope will win me a Premier League, and I think he will. He keeps 10 clean sheets in the Premier League, a very, very strong first season, above a 7 average rating. He's not at his full potential, although he is quite close, but to be honest, he could stay the way that he is, and he's still a very good option. £5 million, we are going to welcome in a backup left back. That is going to be Martin Escalante. He's going to come in from RB Leipzig for 10.5 million. A humble start with 2 goal contributions, 1 goal, 1 assist. The guy doesn't stand out for everything, but he stands out for tackling, bravery, stamina, fitness. He's got a bit about him. And for 24.5 million, I believe, we are going to welcome in Neil Wong, coming in from Wolves. And again, 28 appearances, a fairly good average rating, and just another player to add into the midfield. And I think, for the first time in quite a fair few rebuilds, our first Thai player we have signed in absolutely ages. So that's always a big bonus. So any Thailand viewers, let me know in the comments. But I tell you what, he actually looks quite good. Again, similar to the left back, he's not exactly like a world-class player, but for a squad player, he's more than good enough. And that actually does complete the transfer window. £90 million spent. You know, we've got a mixture of players in there, some older, some younger. And I think, hopefully, that's enough to at least keep me in and around the mix for the European spots in the Prem. But before we talk about Premier League, talk about Champions League, because we are going to get into the quarters, which actually I will take in the first season, because we are going to beat Manchester United in the round of 16. Do we get past the league phase? We don't. We are so close, which means we must have played Salzburg, and we do win 4-1. So overall, that's actually not too bad. Of course, our first chance to win the Super Cup, we miss out by this much, a 3-2 defeat to Paris Saint-Germain. The FA Cup, we simply can't improve in. We really can't get to grips with this. A 1-0 loss against Newcastle. The Carabao Cup, we are going to win 3-2 over Manchester City, which is absolutely lovely. It's almost like they've lost a final recently. Any Palace fans? But also on top of that, we are going to finish in the top 5, which is even better, because we do get Champions League football again because of the cup win. And I tell you what, this is showing a good level of consistency. You know, we're always around the 6th and now the 5th place, and we're building this foundation of just season by season, chipping away, finishing higher and higher and higher. And once again, Maduwake going to be in the stat lines, which is very nice to see. Chido, joint top goal scorer. And again, not all of our players are in the mix, okay? I understand that, but we look at the team on paper, and we're not a bad side anymore. We are not a bad side at all anymore. We've got a great goalkeeper, a great back line, very strong wing backs. Midfield needs investment, I'll be honest. The front line's really good here. I mean, Samuel Smith, by the way, the left back that's not even put into the team, I will put him into the team because he's got 18 assists. 5 and 11 as well for, I believe, for this winger, the Turkish delight. Maduwake, 20 and 19. That's nearly 40 goal contributions from a player that I guarantee most people would write off at this part of a save. You never should write off older players because they can at least offer you one good season. Tresoldi actually is now wanted by Man City, which is not great because he actually is enjoying another great season. 28 and 18. Obi Martin, 46 and 10. You know, we're scoring goals, we're defending somewhat okay, we are now actually the 3rd best at scoring and the 2nd best at conceding, so we really are working our way up the rankings, and we can only improve. We've got a budget of 45 million pounds, so a little bit less, but we didn't really win anything this year apart from the Carabao Cup, so it is quite fair. So let's just carry on with the rebuild, because I tell you what, I might do more of these low league ones because I have so much fun when I start to see progress. Well, this is big and it's bold because we have signed one player, and that is going to be another centre-back. When you're playing 3 centre-backs, I like to have 5 because injuries just everything crops up at once one time, and now you're playing in the Champions League as well. You need to have a lot of good centre-backs, and this guy definitely is that. Now, he cost me a total of £22 million, so it's not even a big spending window. Now, this guy offers a lot, okay? He's quick, got great fitness, great agility, great anticipation, great determination, great heading, great marking. He is the real deal, a real deal player. Now, he is 26, so he's not young, and you are somewhat signing for now, opposed to the future. But when this man becomes available on the market, he was wanted by, in fact, he still now is wanted by the Saudi League. There was teams like Liverpool that wanted him. You've got to make your move, and I did that pretty quickly. I tell you what, we're in for it. We are now joint top of the Premier League in the year of 2035, and it is close. It is incredibly close. Chido, your top goal scorer. Karim Konate to Southampton is interesting. Our goalkeeper, most clean sheets. Madueke, joint first top goal scorer. Our players are showing they're consistent Premier League standard players that are getting closer every second to winning a Premier League title. These players can do it. I believe in these players, and we will do it. I can promise you that. We are working step by step to make this happen, and when I see players improve, like the goalkeeper, dominating the clean sheet stat line, Chido, consistency, year after year, he is minimum in the top 2. I can't hate it. As I'm actually falling in love with this team. It's going to be another cup final, a Carabao Cup, against Tottenham at Wembley, and we actually go 1-0 down. And why do I love this team? Because we have got grit, we've got resilience, we've got determination, and we come back in the second half. A great ball in, yes, it's a little bit scrappy, but the press is so active, it's so on there. Gomez wins it back, it's a great finish into the bottom right-hand corner, and we don't stop there. We go on to win another Carabao Cup against a very strong Tottenham team with a lot of good young players in, and we just don't batter an eyelid. Chido, again. And it's not even half bad in the Champions League. Another quarter-final appearance. The FA Cup we just can't do well in, but I mean the Carabao Cup, guys, we have now won that 3 times on the bounce as Rochdale. That is mental. 3 times on the bounce as Rochdale. The Premier League, joint top. Another season of Champions League football. Money-wise, we are going to have a budget of £56 million. The debts and loans is only about 14 million in transfer debt, so it's not exactly horrific. We can still definitely go and sign players. And I'm falling in love with the team. I really, really am. This front three is mixed up with some of the maddest players you would never put these together. Tresoldi, Madueke, Obi Martin. No one's put them together, but you put things together, sometimes you create magic. Madueke, 24 and 26. Tresoldi, 30 and 18. Obi Martin, 36 and 3. Samuel Smith, 4 and 16, our backup left-back. 7 and 11 from Catano, our backup centre-back and DM. Our backups are now becoming incredibly good players. Lewis Skelly drops a great average rating. He is now wanted by the Saudi team, and he's unhappy because he wants more game time. Unfortunately, he's not the best out of the backups. We've got Catano, we've got Neil Wong, so he has to sort of take what he can get, I'll be honest with you. But again, the one weakness, and the only weakness, is that we are carrying on losing the odd player. So every season, we are finding ourselves almost being forced to sign a few players. And last year, we signed 1. And that has somewhat affected us now because our squad's quite small. But we pushed the limits. We really, really did this season. I mean, this is remarkable. I will say it again. This is remarkable as well. But it's not the pinnacle. It's not a Premier League win. And that's what I want. Right then, for £21 million, we are going to welcome in Dragan Zlatkovic, coming in from Borussia Mönchengladbach for 21 million, 11 goals and 3 assists. The man is nothing but a backup striker for now, but let's not say that in a harsh way, because although he's got a lot of cons, he's also got a lot of pros. He's quite quick, good composure, good finishing, good dribbling, and for a backup, I'm not going to want any more than this Serbian masterclass backup striker. Carr is going to come in on the free. Again, a massive pickup from Brentford. He plays a ton of games, 5 goal contributions. He simply was, well, out of contract at Brentford, and I'm like, why would I not pay him? Now, I'll be honest with you. I probably overpaid his wages quite a fair bit because he actually was going to come for £80,000 a week. But Madrid wanted him. I believe City wanted him. Saudi wanted him. And some of these teams might still want him. Tottenham now want him. He's English. He is on the older side. But he is an incredible centre-back. And again, when you look at our centre-backs right now, it genuinely probably is our strongest position. And lastly, we are going to go in and pick up Jorge Espin for a total of 12.5 million, a leading Premier League quality midfield player who again was at Newcastle for a little bit, being loaned out, being a little bit mistreated. So I thought, do you know what? Come and play for the Rochdale. Come and play for the Mighty R's, because do you know what? You will be respected, and he is respected. Fantastically mentally, great physically, great technically, a good player in this team who hopefully can push me that little bit further. As the FA Cup final is still out of reach. We are cursed in this. Tottenham beat us, and we would have played Stockport in the final. That would have been a win. Champions League, we managed to go on a bit more of an impressive run. We are actually going to beat Real Sociedad in the round of 16 on penalties, which pushes us through to the quarter-final against Liverpool, which we actually are quite comfortable. A 2-0 win over them, into the semis where we are going to play PSG and beat them 6-0 over 2 legs, which is quite the statement. But we play Real Madrid in the final. UCL Madrid, which we win 1-0 from a set-piece goal, which was quite scrappy, but I don't care. I'm Champions League winners. That is right, we are Champions League winners. Champions League winners with Rochdale. How have we won the Europa League and the Champions League before a Premier League? When we win the Premier League, we've actually completed Rochdale. The Carabao Cup's getting boring now, but I mean, what a final. Birmingham v Rochdale, decided on penalties, by the way, so Birmingham are cooking up a bit of a storm, but that is now 4 seasons back-to-back. And the Premier League, we finish in second again. Tottenham are going to win it. We are now 3 points behind. Cheeto in the top goal scorer and ranks, as is Tresoldi. I mean, again, we have now got 3 players in the assists, 3 players in the average rating, our goalkeeper in 3rd place. Our players are just doing everything they can. And the fact that I have won a Champions League, a Europa League, multiple Carabao Cups, it's absolutely incredible. Obviously, we're still chasing the Prem, but this tactic might be the best low league tactic you're going to get your hands on, and I've kept the same tactic right from the first season. But in fact, we might have changed a couple of things in the team instructions, but 80% of the tactic is exactly what we had at the start. But as you sign different players, you have to change certain things, obviously, like you would back home. But I mean, looking at the team on paper, we're this close from a Premier League title. We could be maybe 1 player away from making it happen, and that is quite hard to actually pinpoint where the money needs to be spent, because we are the best of the best in both categories, so you can't really pin the blame. We have got a budget of what, £60 million, so we can go and at minimum get a couple of new gens, maybe 1 real standout player. So because I'm not entirely sure where to spend the money, I'm not going to pretend and say that I know what I'm doing for the next window. But let's just get into it. But I mean, just please take in the stats. Yeah, special. Well, the spree of Carabao Cups carries on once again. We are going to be Carabao Cup winners. That is now 5 times in a row. We simply can't stop winning it. The FA Cup, we become so close to winning it, but we lose it 3-2 against Tottenham Hotspur in extra time. Our first final in that competition. Please make us win one soon. The Champions League actually is a bit of a drop-off because we bail out in the round of 16 as Paris Saint-Germain are a little bit too strong on the day. Super Cup we are going to win. Again, this is not our first rodeo. We had a chance in 2033. Sadly, we lost that. In the big 2037... it's Rochdale's. Community Shield, again, it is our first chance to actually win this, and we lose it against Tottenham. I don't know what it is about these trophies. Like, I know they're not massive in terms of reputation, but I just love to win them, and it annoys me when I don't. But the Premier League we are going to win, and we win it by 10 points, 27 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses. And this time, Chino, the lowest he's ever been in terms of goals scored. We are going to see our goalkeeper, the second most clean sheet, joined with Andrea. That is a mouthful. And also 3 of our players coming in right now with the assists. Now, I'm going to say something pretty simple, because I didn't show you any transfers, did I? And that is because I'm going to show you the path that I went down to try and get this Premier League title ticked off. I went down a route of experience. Now, in terms of the money, if you are going to carry on this save file, you have got £91 million to go and spend. You have got a bit of net debt, but you've got a squad where you can still go and put a bit of money in. Now, I went down a path of pure experience, okay? So the first player I actually brought in on the, well, for basically the free, was Angelo Stiller, to basically come in and just chip away in midfield for a season. He is one of my favourite midfield players ever. Current football, that is, not obviously in past generations. And I thought, do you know what, I'll get him in purely for the name. So that was a little bit of a selfish signing. We then go and pick up Mascara, who is really strong in Football Manager. He doesn't play a ton of games, he plays 9. He comes in on the free on a low salary. You could even now sell him for 24 million, but you're getting a pre-built centre back that can honestly step into the back line and play some games if needed. We then go and pick up a really good new gen who can play on the right and also on the left if needed. He played really well. 22 goal contributions, a very small transfer fee, incredibly gifted technically, mentally, and he's 25 years of age. So again, tons of potential. We then look at the likes of FC Bayern and I say, do you know what? I want your player. 59 million, we're going to pick up Veron, another Argentinian man, to basically just stand aside Gomez with. A 27-year-old, so again, not a signing for the future, but a current good performer, dropping a 6.85. And to finish it off for 19 million from Brighton, we picked up ourselves pretty much a bit of a backup striker. Nothing ridiculous, nothing awful, he just gets the job done. And you know what? That was enough to win a Premier League title. Our final 11 looks exactly like this. We are going to see Lopez, Malongo, Veron, Carr, Escalante, Espin, Gomez, Tavares, Brol, Tresoldi and Obi Martin. So the only players that are real players in that 11 are Obi Martin and Tresoldi. Tresoldi is now 32, Obi Martin is now 29, and they sign off in style. Everyone does. It's a very, very strong season, and that has taken me 14 seasons to win the Premier League with Rochdale. Now, my promise to you is if this video gets 60 likes, 50 likes, I will rebuild another team from a step lower than what we did with Rochdale, and that will be an even bigger challenge. So if you do want to see it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe again at any part of this video. You can go and get the rebuild file and the tactics over on the Patreon, and your challenge is to try and link this all in together. That means win the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup in one season. Good luck.